Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we are talking about another rumor, I guess, or at least another kind of off-season or roster move, roster change idea that it seems like people are starting to talk a little bit more and more about, just because it could potentially be interesting, and maybe people are starting to think that, hey, it would make a lot of sense. Now, I don't know if I would go as far as to say that it's a rumor, but maybe a possibility. I don't know. Maybe the title of this video is going to be something about a rumor. Who knows? You know, you got to get those views and stuff as well, but it is very, very interesting. This is regarding TSM, who is obviously in a very, very peculiar position headed into the summer split, you know, assuming they're going to finish last in the LCS. I mean, that seems like a foregone conclusion at this point. I guess technically there's still even a chance for them to make playoffs, and I'm sure they could still finish like 8th or 9th or something, but they're going to have to make a decision. Do they want to keep this project going? Do they want to try a different rebuild? Do they want to scrap this all together and actually spend some money and try and make a good team for summer? There's a lot of different ways this could go, so we'll be talking about that a little bit in this video today. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate that a ton. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Tons of off-season roster moves, rumors, all that stuff coming your guys' way very, very soon. Playoffs. I just actually booked my booked my plans to go to the LCS finals in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to be there trying to make some videos in person and stuff. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming your guys' way. So again, click that button. With that being said, let's get right into this. So what we were talking about today, I've seen in a couple places now, and I think it makes a lot of sense actually, and that is this. This comes from Zers. You know, he's kind of been laying low for a while, but it seems like he's popping back up once again. He says, I'm sensing something like TSM Nisky. And I know we've been talking about Nisky a ton, but he really is one of the bigger free agents out there. You know, yes, I do think Jensen is for sure the biggest free agent, but Nisky is right up there kind of with him because, you know, who knows where Jensen's going to want to go, if Jensen wants to go to Europe, if he doesn't, who knows, but Nisky's going to keep popping up for all these teams that need a mid laner, and a lot of these teams that aren't doing very good right now, they do need a mid laner, and, you know, Zers does still say here, like, hey, if not Mad Lions, we'll see where he ends up, you know, maybe TSM's an option, and I think Nisky maybe makes a lot of sense for TSM, because as we've said in the past, it doesn't seem like Jensen is going to go to TSM, like, did Jensen even like TSM before? Would he have ever considered going to TSM before? We don't know. I've heard, you know, some people say that, oh, maybe Jensen said on Discord or on Twitter or something that he would never play for TSM, or he doesn't want to play for TSM or whatever. And, like, again, I don't have those messages or anything, but if he said that, I would believe it. But I don't know if that's actually what happened. But especially now that TSM looks like an absolute dumpster fire, and they also historically are known for, you know, not being the best paying organization, trying to like undercut and undersell players and stuff, and sell you the TSM brand and the TSM legacy and everything instead of paying you in money. I don't think Jensen and TSM ever made a ton of sense. Now, I think it would make a ton of sense for TSM, and I think TSM should be going for it. Not only is he a great mid laner, at his best, the best mid laner in the LCS, one of the best mid laners in the West, and world class at his best, he's also a resident. And that's just so valuable. You know, the fact that TSM is trying to go with young, unproven import in the mid lane as opposed to proven resident in the mid lane, like, that's kind of crazy. But you know, Jensen never really seemed too possible or too likely, but Nisky, on the other hand, again, I don't know how likely it is. I don't know if he wants to come to TSM, but it seems like, you know, he was considering offers before, and it seems like, you know, he would come back to some certain offers. I also have a tweet from Nisky that I want to pull up real quick. But also, I think Nisky would be really, really good for this TSM roster in so many ways. One, we know at his best, Spica is a guy who can carry, and we know Nisky, you know, likes to play that facilitative style and stuff a little bit, and Nisky playing through Spica, like, oh man, that seems like that would be so fun. Now, obviously, you know, Spica hasn't necessarily been amazing this season, but I think everyone understands that Nisky would be a big step up from Kaido and Takeover at this point, and could unlock Spica in a new way. Also, I think Nisky is more of a veteran and a voice, and he's hyper positive. He's always building his teammates up. He's always building his teams up. You know, it seems like he has unbreakable mental. It seems like he's just there to, you know, bring up good vibes and positivity and keep people going. And I think TSM needs some of that right now. You know, like, they've been trying to have Spica be their leader this whole season, and I think it's pretty clear he's not ready for that yet. He's still a young guy. He still is learning how to figure things out for himself, let alone lead 5 members of a team that aren't even very good individually and are very, very lost and chaotic. I think Nisky could add some stability and some help here. Also, in the direction that TSM's going right now of being a 10th place team, being a dumpster fire, being a mess, you risk losing Spica in the offseason. But if you go out right now and you have a big offseason, you could potentially hang on to Spica. You can potentially still salvage all this for years to come. Your rebuilding project without Spica on it becomes much more impossible, much more unlikely, and TSM knows that. And if they have another split like they're having right now in the summer, you gotta assume Spica's gonna be gone. Why would he stick around for that? It literally just makes no sense. So, we have this. Wooloo tweeting out that he's really excited for the upcoming offseason, talking about the offseason between, spring and summer. And then Nisky saying same. And Wooloo saying, hey, McDonald's is about to take another L, meaning, hey, McDonald's might be losing a player. Nisky might be on the move here. And then we also have this from Blabber talking about a potential return to competitive for Nisky, which I thought was really interesting.
You went from California to Berlin to watch C9 play Worlds? I mean, I'd go watch Nisky, too. I'd fly halfway across the world to watch Nisky, too. Might see it next split. Just might see Nisky next split. Who knows? Just ban 2 QEs. Spent 2 years long. Guys, it's not a leak. I didn't even say anything. There's no leak.
So obviously there, Blabber is hinting at a return. Nisky seems to be hinting at a return on Twitter. And again, I do think Mad Lions makes the most sense and is still probably the leader in the clubhouse for Nisky, but like I said before, there might be some issues because Mad Lions doesn't like bringing in veteran players. They like selling off players rather than buying players, and Nisky has a buyout and a decently expensive salary, and there might be some concerns about that buyout as well because we've heard it could be upwards of like $300,000 to $350,000 for Nisky from like the Cloud9 deal. And TSM on the other hand, they just shelled out over 7 figures for Shenny and Kaiduo. I think that they could probably fit, a 6-figure buyout for Nisky somewhere in the budget there. And I just think it would make a ton of sense for TSM. I'm not even a huge Nisky fan, but I think this would be a great move in so many different ways that I think at the very least TSM has to consider it. Looks like the TSM subreddit is on that train as well. They said hope, Nisky to LCS, TSM Nisky, like the title. Blabber just leaked that Nisky might be in the LCS next split. Now, when I watch that Blabber clip, I don't know if that reads as he might be in the LCS next split. I just read it means he might be in competitive next split. But there are some really, really good ideas in this thread. This guy says if Nisky had his green card, he was first choice without I don't know. And that doesn't really make sense to me because TSM already has an import mid laner right now. Like, why? Obviously, a resident is better than a non-resident, but a good import is better than a bad import like you have right now. So I still think Nisky would be pretty high up on my list. And then this here, grabbing Nisky and signing Ayla, I think this would be very, very good. Shenny, maybe you think he still has potential. Maybe he's going to figure things out, whatever. But, like, Ayla seems like he'd be an immediate upgrade and is a resident and allows you to use import slot somewhere else. Maybe you could import top lane or whatever. I know, there's the rumors and talks of like Nuggery or whatever, but just even any top laner out there. Or just keeping Huni and Ayla just probably being better than Shenny right now as well. I think this stuff would, just make so much more sense. There's also guys like Ignar, other players out there that would make TSM better. Again, in my opinion, not only making them better for spring, but also making them going forward better in the future as well. 2 or 3 years from now, is Kaiduo going to be better than Nisky? Is Kaiduo going to be better than Jensen? I don't think so. And I think this would also be a nice way for TSM to get some younger, inexperienced talent still as well, and a guy like Ayla. Also, you have a guy like Tenacity. You could still buy out in the top lane. You have these other options. And you still have the ability to send Kaiduo and Shenny back down to Academy and try and develop them there. Why is the LCS team being used as a development? Why not develop players in Academy and try and win in the LCS? That seems to make a heck of a lot of sense to me, but who knows? I'm just throwing out some ideas. But TSM Nisky, all of a sudden, there's more and more people talking about it, and I think it would be pretty interesting. But either way, I do expect over the next couple weeks for us to get some Nisky news. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this story. Do you think Nisky on TSM would make sense? Do you think it could happen? Do you think it's going to happen? I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.